Good day everybody, and welcome to my review on the ATA SP Black Edition. So just before I get started here, ATA is a Turkish arms manufacturer that manufactures rifles and shotguns and all that sort of firearms in there. And they make some pretty decent entry-level sort of budget shotguns here for us in the United Kingdom. So let's get straight into it. So this here is the ATA Black SP. And as you can see, it's got 30-inch barrels on it, so it's pretty standard. And yeah, well, it's an under and over, or an over and under. How do you say it? I don't have a clue. So new, this costs £599 roughly, 99 pence, and weighs in at about 2.8 kilo. And the reason it's actually quite on the light side, or in my opinion at least, for the reason it's 2.8 kilo is the fact that it uses an aluminium alloy sort of action and everything else, which obviously aluminium is quite a nice light metal, which makes a gun nice and easy enough to carry around. So if you're carrying it around all day, in the field or at a playground, or, anywhere else you decide to carry it, this gun is nice to carry. You can also whack it over your shoulder if that's more of your style and hold it down by the barrels like this. You don't notice it, or at least I haven't so far going around the playgrounds. So the wood on this gun, you can see in this light here, it's quite a basic wood. It's actually a Turkish walnut. So it's actually not great, but it's not bad, and especially for the price you're paying, as long as you treat it and look after it, it'll last. And I've seen on the internet, as probably put up on screen right now, there are some quite nice finishes you can reach with this Turkish grade wood. Obviously not amazing, nothing you'll get with a Beretta. For the price you're paying here, you've got to remember, sub £600, it's not bad at all. Now obviously the gun as well comes with auto ejectors, as you can see right here, and they work pretty damn well. I haven't had any issues so far with them. They seem to function well. They do split the cartridges all the way across the room if you don't put your hand in the way when you break the barrel. And it also has a pretty nice red fibre optic. I don't know if you can see that, but there it is. It does work quite well, and you can track place with it pretty decently, or at least I've been able to. The balance and the weight on the gun itself, if I just close it up here, it balances pretty well. That's just me holding it there on the action. It's not too bad. You could probably find a 2-finger balance point now. Find the center of its mass. There we go. So yeah, overall, it's pretty well balanced. Obviously nothing compared to a Beretta or a high quality Browning. Now as we can see here, excluding my comb razor here, I bought as an extra because I didn't get the adjustable version, which you can get for an extra £100. So if that's more your thing, I would advise, rather than getting this non-adjustable stock, get the adjustable stock. It's well worth it. Here we've got the Checkering. It's actually, I think it's machine checkered, but to be fair, it's quite good. The grip on the gun itself isn't too bad. And the foregrip here is a little bit chunky. As you can see, it kind of comes out like a tail there. But it's got a nice ATA logo there, and the checker in here actually is pretty smooth, not too bad. There we are. It works pretty nicely. But the one thing I do have to say about the gun is it does scratch quite easily, and the reason I'm saying that is if I just close it real quick, there we are. If we look under here, we can see that there's a bit of scratching there from the action opening and closing. And not only does it scratch because obviously the black paint on the action likes to come off like that, it also scratches from rings, if anyone wears any rings. And also, the wood also scratches pretty easily. I've barely knocked this about, I've just been taking it in and out the cabinet, and you get quite a few little scratches, as you can see, just kind of appear on the wood itself, which isn't great, but it's to be expected. However, I do have to say here, the lever for opening the action is pretty nicely designed, pretty nice detail on it. And the actual trigger itself has a nice little sort of gold shine to it, which does kind of add to the style points. Now another thing I do have to point out on the gun here is when you first get it, the action is quite stiff. It does take quite a few shoots to kind of get the action loose, so don't be alarmed if you do get one of these guns and the action is quite stiff at first. Obviously, you know, it's any sort of normal under and over, open it, barrels break, back up. You know, doing this a few times might help loosen it, putting some oil on the actual action itself. But you know, putting a few clays, or rounds through it at some clays, or you know, game, whatever is your fancy, will certainly over time loosen it up. That's one of the only main issues I have with the gun itself. It's pretty stiff to start off with. I'd also like to point out here as well, the safety on it isn't actually too bad. So it's a single sort of, single trigger dual safety, so you can select what barrel you want to fire first. So if I just push that up, that's actually the bottom barrel, I believe, first firing. You slide it over, and now that's the top barrel firing. So it's actually pretty nice and smooth to kind of slide around. Which quite surprised me actually on a gun this price point, how easy it is to kind of select what barrel you want to shoot first. It's not half bad. Now, as you can probably see on screen right now as well, the gun did come with a set of chokes. I think it had skeet, improved cylinder, modified, and a full choke as well. I think it had 2 improved cylinders. One was already in the gun to start off with, so as you probably see on the picture, there's 3 chokes on there. Comes with a total of 5 chokes and the choke removal tool, which is actually really good. But the box it came in was obviously sort of a standard cardboard, you know, sort of standard box that you'd expect at this price point. No fancy hard case like you would get in a Beretta, which the review is coming soon on my AL391, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, overall I've not had any issues with this gun so far, and you will about to see a montage of me shooting this gun at my local playground. Yeah, doing pretty well with it, or at least for me. So let's roll the tapes and see how it goes. So would I recommend purchasing this ATA over and under as a first gun, let's say in the 12 bore that it is, or maybe just one that you don't mind getting a bit damaged but you want something new? My personal opinion is yes, if you want a gun that is brand new and you don't really know what you're looking for secondhand and you want to get into clay shooting, it's got adjustable chokes so you can get used to how they work and the spread and everything else. It's an easy enough gun to operate, and it's made of good enough quality materials that it's not just going to fall apart or break or get damaged after your first few shoots, which is really good. However, if you can, I would suggest if you have an extra £100, either shell out for an adjustable sort of stock so you can raise the comb on here, because gosh, you're going to have to get a razor like this, like I have, or look out for a second-hand Beretta, as long as you know what you're looking for, because what you don't want to do is purchase something that actually wasn't worth your money and isn't going to last very long. But yeah, I would recommend this gun if you're looking for a brand new first sort of budget gun that you will look after well and it will serve its purpose.